Terry, her mom, and Dave all have COVID.
Really?
Mm.
Good Lord.
Yeah, they've been sick. I guess she's
COVID.
feeling. Mom's been sick since Saturday. Terry's starting to feel better today. You know, she's wearing a mask.
That's horrible.
Yeah,
Jesus.
Dave and the mother
How
both
the hell
have.
did they get sick? There's nothing there.
Dave and the mom both have like the congestion and stuff. So
They
they've
must
all
be out
been
socializing with people.
They've all been vaccinated, you know. So
Yeah.
she says the weather's nice. Their windows are open. I'm like, I'm envious.
I'd rather feel good and be in heat than be sick and in nice weather.
Well, that's true too. But yeah, unfortunately.
That's too bad.
Yeah,
Jesus,
so
Is Allison here? She go.
no, she's here.
Oh.
What time's your first? 11:30? Tell her. Tell us.
All right. So, not a lot going on. I did take some shorts and some puts in KMX. They're August 15th. That only has monthlies. Probably just going to try to day trade this thing. Because, I mean, the market is still bullish overall, but it's definitely bearish today. The market is definitely bearish today. The T2104 cumulative volume index is very, very weak. Again, if we look at it over here at dollar sign FOLD, there is your cumulative volume index. See how red it is right here. Just going down, down, down. So that T2104 looks the same. But this has just been drifting down. We did have some green this morning. That was from the gap up. But this is where things start to tell you what's really going on, and you can see that it's pretty red. So the volume, cumulative volume is just dropping. So I have to, right now, anything I'm looking at, I'm just looking at shorts, but I'm just not finding anything to trade for the most part. Had really nice trade in Sarepta this morning. We closed out NVIDIA yesterday, Dell yesterday. Really nice trades. We've had really, really good trades this month. And I'm not going to take just trades just to take trades. If this is all I take today, this is all I take today. I'm not going to try to push any trades right now because the overall market's bearish, is bullish, but the daily is bearish. So you're trading against the overall market if you're trading intraday, which means you've got to be looking for some shorts, but you don't want to try to hold too many of them. At least in my opinion. Spotify also pretty weak here, trying to bounce a little bit. There's earnings very, very flat. See, this is a stock you don't want to do a strangle on. It's just too flat. These SNPS was talked about this morning. Again, big move up. Just not a lot of price action to really give you any kind of confidence in trading anything right now. It's KMX bouncing right up to the VWAP again. So, yeah, nothing here. We booked some nice trades. I'm just going to watch right now and see what I can see. Oh, gotta go to the bathroom finally. In the bathroom. I gotta figure out how I can. My laptop keeps, it's shutting down not shutting down, but it's going dark. I don't want this to do that. All right. Market. I'll just get back here for a second. Market pulling down. KMX. Yeah, KMX not having relative weakness here is strong points out that it's got relative strength, but still, I still like it short here. The daily chart is a very nice short setup on it. And it's, you know, it's not something that jumps around a lot, so I'm okay with that. SPY looks really weak though. Again, we've been saying all day that the cumulative volume index, the market internals are definitely bearish right now. SPY still coming in. It's got the, on the daily chart, the SPY has got the 8 exponential moving average, still a good ways away. We're coming up on yesterday's low. Yesterday's low 635.54, so we're very close to yesterday's low. We'll see if we get any kind of support there. SPY's coming in, Q's coming in. Q's right at the pivot point here, IWM coming in. Everything's short here. We may not be looking for any big, huge gains in KMX here as it starts to pull down a little bit. All markets coming in very weak. KMX finally starting to show a little bit of weakness here. The momentum has gone to blue, but you notice how low you see where the indicator is. This modified Laguerre, it's just barely over 20. Still bearish here coming in. down, didn't get to the 8. Pretty much got to yesterday's low. Yesterday's low on the SPY, 635.54. Today's low, 635.18. So basically we touched yesterday's low and bounced. KMX pull down a little bit here, just not a lot going on. I'm not gonna be too aggressive with this KMX. I'm gonna put a sell order in at $4. This price actions today in the market's horrible. I mean, it's bearish, but there's just not an awful lot to trade, I don't think. Crowd coming in. KMX. That nice little red candle there. Popped it up to 375 on the option price. Any questions here? Again, not much of a day for trading yet. SPY bouncing here, right off of pretty much off of yesterday's low. Very close to Friday's low, yesterday's low. Market kind of just resting, moving sideways right now. Overall, still, obviously the market's still in a nice uptrend. But today, nothing great, just nothing to write home about. The market internals are very, very bearish today. There's the SPY. Again, you have to be bullish overall, but on a day like this, you don't want to be too bullish. You kind of want to intraday trade some shorts, perhaps. But see how it came right back to the 8 down here and then moved up. We're still in a nice little pattern, but we have the FOMC tomorrow. We have the jobs report on Friday. A lot of stuff going on here this week. Tariffs coming in. A lot of talk about tariffs. There's a T2104. There it is. How bearish that is. Market internals very bearish. Again, still bearish today. Market's bearish, as we've been saying since about 10 o'clock. T2104, cumulative volume index going down fairly consistently here. So again, this is a bearish trend day in a bullish market. I mean, we still got a bullish market. We have a bearish trend day. Um, just really tough to take any longs today for any intraday longs, unless you've got a really standout stock. But it's hard to hold very many shorts overnight when you're coming up on the 8 exponential moving average. So consequently, especially with the Fed tomorrow, they'll get the FOMC tomorrow at 2 o'clock. A lot of reasons not to be doing a lot of trading right now. KMX is another little flush down here, another very choppy stock right now, but it's not been able to get up through the VWAP, and still looks bearish to me. The daily chart's very bearish on it, so I can lean on that. Oracle it was a nice setup this morning. It's pulled back with the market. A lot of stuff pulling back with the market here. Oracle is a beautiful daily setup on the daily chart. I can't touch any of these right now. Again, we're out of Nvidia, which is obviously pulling down. We're out of Dell from yesterday. It was a good exit yesterday. Again, it's red for the day as well. So it was a good time to take some trades off yesterday. There's still good long setups, but we're having a bearish day, so not a day we want to dive into anything long unless you're looking to try to pick something up cheap. But you really kind of want to wait to see what the market does, because it doesn't mean we're going to get a bounce tomorrow necessarily. just very choppy, drifting down, but nothing too big here. The market is drifting down as well. We do have a bearish engulfing candle on today's SPY. Today's SPY daily candle on the SPY. We'll see what it looks like at the end of the day. Bearish engulfing candles at 11:45 may not look like much at the end of the day, or it may look great. You just don't know. This thing could bounce back up. You could end up with a bounce and end up with a hammer bar. So don't read too much into it this early in the day. Trying to bounce now. Again, just getting a lot. This was a pretty nice move down, but just SPY's still above the 8. That has 8 exponential moving average as support down here. Good ways to go to it yet. The 8 is at 633.14. 633.14. So about a little over $2 to the downside to get to the 8. Everybody's been looking for shorts for the market to go down here for the last 2-3 months, and probably getting excited today because the market's going down. This is just one day. Again, you still have to look at the overall market as bullish. You just have to trade what you see intraday, which right now is market short. This KMX with a nice little leg down. Again, this thing doesn't move an awful lot, so if I can get 40 cents out of it, I'm going to take it. It's trading at 380 right now, so up about 20 cents. 59.38. Needs to get to about 59.20 or so. Well, Rem, come on, that's a good question. How many days do you have to wait after earnings before taking a straddle strangle? Well, I mean, you don't have to. You can take it off on the day of earnings, if you get a good price. That's the whole key. You've got to be able to get a good price. If you look at UPS, right now on the 5-minute chart, right, here's the big gap down on earnings. And it's been dropping down. Now it's time to flatten out. You really don't want too much flattening here. But again, this would, level-wise, this is probably a good spot for a straddle or a strangle on it. Right down near the very low of the day with a good room to the upside. But you got to see how much it's going to cost you. That's the key here. Because it's got an ATR of right now about 225 or so. So you'd have to be able to get into this thing for, $1.50 or something like that. I don't know that you could do that. You might, but I don't know. But I just wait for the price action to tell me. I don't want prices that. If I go back and look at UPS on previous earnings, right? So here's previous earnings here.
US and China agreed to extend trade truce.
So you see what it does here. Kind of just was all over the place. So, but it does make some decent moves. But I wouldn't say not to take a UPS straddle or strangle today. It's okay, as long as you can get in price. And Bro is another one. Yeah. We have to look at the prices on them. But that's another decent setup. Let's look at the 5-minute on it. But see this, you're getting so much compression here. That this is what you don't want to see for straddles or strangles. It's going to have to make them. If you take it, you're going to want to see it move one way or the other. You don't want to see a lot of this compression stuff. I'd rather take something that's got a little bit more price action in one direction or the other at this point in time in the day. And then getting in for the best price is critical. So a very nice trade in Sarepta overnight. That was a beauty. That straddle and that we took, a strangle that we took yesterday on Sarepta. Big profits. I'm putting it in at 4. I know some people got 350. Some people got 450. Some people even get $5 for it. It just depends. Like I said, when it jumped up last night off of that FDA report that they could go ahead and start selling the product, it jumped up from about 14 to about 21. So I sold a bunch of shares at 20. I shorted them, and then I covered them this morning with my $14 call that I had on my strangle. So I was able to make, on that particular trade, I was able to make $6 a share, or $6 a contract. And then I had to pay $1.50 for the spread, so I made $4.50 a contract on that. I actually made $4.60 because I was able to sell the puts for an extra dime. But everybody else made good money on this thing. Everybody made probably at least 100%. You should have been able to get 100 to 150% on it, minimum. And these things don't come along that often. It's nice to get them. Obviously, you're trying to squeeze out all you can, but when you're looking at 100%, thinking this isn't good enough, I don't know what to tell you. But again, we've got a bearish day in the market, but we're getting a little bounce. There was news just came out that China's top trade negotiators, both sides will continue to push forward extension of pause, reciprocal tariffs, as well as Chinese countermeasures. So the U.S. and China agree to extend the trade truce. All right, so that's going to be bullish. Nobody knows what these tariffs are going to be, when they're going to be. I mean, and again, the tariff talk just doesn't have the impact on the market it used to when it first started. This was a pretty bullish setup, a pretty bullish sign when they're going to extend the tariffs, and this is getting a fairly subdued bounce. See how KMX is responding to this? It's responding very nicely. It's not bouncing with the market at all. Still holding down there. I'm just not anxious to trade an awful lot of stuff today. Is Oracle recovering again a little bit from this pullback? But again, with the market doing what it's doing in the T2104, as bearish as it is right now, it's starting to show a little bit of bullishness, but all morning it's been coming down pretty hard. And You'll see that in this $ VOLD right there. Coming down all morning, starting to get a little bit of a bounce here, same as the T2104 is. But will it last? Who knows? I'm certainly not going to go long here right now. Not yet. And SPY coming up, KMX going down. Yeah, just trying to get $4 out of KMX. In 360, trying to get out for 4. It's at 390 right now. It's not a big trade. I mean, this is but on a day like this, I just don't think there's a lot of good trades to be found here. They're mostly, nickel and diming.
we're seeing a little volume coming into this MNMD posted in the news desk earlier. Massachusetts Psychiatric Society endorses bill to decriminalize psilocybin possession, as posted in the news desk. See a little delayed action in MNMD. On SPOT, seen headlines up in New York Post. This House probes Spotify over censorship after Joe Rogan's defaming disinformation controversies. This is coming from New York Post on Spotify, SPOT.
Comex heading down here. Not too far away from being filled at the moment. It's $3.95. Again, just got a $4 sell order on here. We could get more, but I'm not going to mess with it because I honestly don't dare take shorts overnight tonight. Not yet. Not yet. I'd have to see more significant bearish price action in the market this afternoon. So I want to just take the profits in KMX while I can get them. Just add them, stack them on top of the profits we've already had this month.
On DOC, seeing a small insider purchase on name by President and CEO, purchasing 2,873 at 1740 for a total of 49,990. That's on DOC Healthcare Properties.
A little after 12 o'clock. Fairly bearish day in the market right now. Hey, Unicorn, how do I think about position sizing for options trade? Do you assume a risk of 100% loss when taking the trade? I always assume 100% risk when I take a trade. The option trades are they're defined risk. Risk is 100%. Do I take 100%? Not very often, very rarely, but it'll happen. So I have to take that risk because if you take a trade and you can't look at that and say, okay, I'm willing to take 100% risk, then you really can't trade it the way you want to trade it because you have to give yourself time. You may be down on the thing 40-50% easily, and you'll start to freak out and take it off. So that's why I don't have any stops like that, any percentage stops, any how much am I made, how much am I lost. It's all based on the technicals of the actual stock. So when I take a trade, if I put $4,000 into an option trade, that's my downside risk. Am I going to take that? Most of the time, never. Most of the time, never. But there is that likelihood, not likelihood. There is that possibility it could happen. You get a news event, especially, and you get crushed. If you had Sarepta short yesterday, you'd have been clobbered this morning. Those options wouldn't have been worth anything. So it can happen. So that way, when you're figuring how much risk you're putting on, you've got to use that. You want to make sure you look at the risk that you're taking on a trade way before you think about how much money you can make on it. And this is a big mistake that a lot of traders make. When they look at a trade, they assume they know which way it's going to go. They take their options. They think that I can make great money in this trade if it goes this way. And so they're thinking in their mind initially about how much money they can make. They're not thinking about how much money you can lose. And that should be the first thing you think about. How much can I lose in this trade? How much risk am I willing to take? Where's the support and resistance levels in this? How much risk am I taking at those levels? Am I comfortable with that risk? And it's really important that you think of that first. You want to be very conservative on these trades. You want to make sure that you're not going to over risk. If you're over leveraging, you say, well, I'm putting 4,000 into a trade, but I'll only lose 1,000. You don't know that. You don't know that. And if you do lose 1,000 on it, you're only down 25%. You're taking it off. You're basically taking any opportunity you've got to make money on the trade if it was still a good setup. So that's how I think about that. I know my win rate's 85 to 90%, so I pretty much know about what I'm going to be able to do over month after month after month after month, and so I don't worry about individual trades like that. Do we still have a? Yes, we do. Unicorn, we do. Looks like KMX just closed, I believe.
On SDOT, Spotify hitting new.
Yep, closed KMX for $4. Yeah, nothing big here. This was, as I said when I took it, it was going to be a small trade. It's a small trade. We just sold it for $4. 40 on a 30, a little about 12, maybe 12% or so. But I'll tell you, on a day like this, I'll take 12%. It's a lot better than the CD at the bank.
On RCON, trading at highs of the day, now it's circuit breaker hall.
Okay, so we're out of KMX. Listen, a profit of it. I mean, $40 a contract. On a day like this, I'm happy with that. The Sarepta trying to move up, but still not doing much today. It was up to $21.50, almost $22 overnight. Pulled back a little bit. We made really, really good money on a straddle on that. A strangle on that, really good. One of the better trades this year. And again, we got news. That's typically what helps you with some of these positions, because they can go against you just as easily, but not with a strangle. They can't. If you get a straddle or a strangle, they halted the stock. I wasn't worried about the fact that the stock was halted because I didn't care which direction it went in. Joe, LPTE, or as you call it, sloppy and choppy. Yeah, it's very choppy. I don't call a day like this low probability trading environment because we do have a trend in the market. I mean, there is a bearish trend in the market, but just not an awful lot. We've had such a bullish market that doesn't leave very many good things to trade. So it's kind of crappy. KMX filled. Yep. KMX is in the zone. Thanks, Freddie. SPY struggling to the VWAP. Yeah, SPY struggling. This was news off of the China U.S. delaying tariffs again, but it didn't cause much of a move. These tariff talks, when you get tariff news, they just do not react the way they did when they first started back in April. They're very hugely mitigated to how much of a reaction the market has. Again, I took KMX off. Still going down. It could go further. I just wanted to get it out of the way before I have lunch. All right, so I'm on a KMX, decent short setup. I like the setup. I like the daily chart. Again, the daily chart was that's what I was trading off of. But I don't. If I can get a profit today, I don't really want to hold these shorts in a bullish market. I mean, it's just I'd much rather be holding longs. I'll take some of these shorts. I'll take some shorts, but KMX, it doesn't move an awful lot. It's a decent short, but I don't think it's a tremendous short I want to hold for a long time. But again, nice move down here today. You can see how the daily chart was extremely bearish. SPY just doing nothing here, chopping. AI still looking like a good short as well. That's when we talked about earlier. I was between AI and KMX. AI still looks like a good short. It is here. I mean, the daily chart's a mess. I mean, this is a mess. Big gap up, big pull down, nice move up, but look at the gaps. Look at the gaps in this thing. Wicks, tails, gaps. Very, very tough to trade, but it is a nice short setup right here. This pretty cheap, but it has room down only about $1.20 to the downside on AI. The 5-minute chart right there, coming in. Again, on my TC2000, I use these pink candles to tell me on downside moves that the Bollinger Bands are expanding, which means it's coming. There's a compression break. It's breaking to the downside. When you see blue candles, it's breaking to the upside. And a lot of times when the candles are blue or when they're pink, so you get compression, you typically likely get follow through. The green and red don't follow through as much as the pink and blue ones do. That's the way, at least the way I look at it. So I'm looking for this. Notice how this thing is swinging to pink right there. That was one of the things that I didn't care about KMX, but it had pink this morning, switched back to red, but see, now it's gone pink again. So again, we're still getting a compression break. It's just one of the things I use on TC2000 to identify, the structure of the trade. By the way, I use the same thing on T2104.
On PANW, talked that they are looking at a planned yield deal for CyberArk, CYBR.
Pink, pink, pink. See this move? You get pink candles. They usually stack. We had a little bit of a bounce here, right to the 8. Now it's pulling back down again. P&W just said something. Looking at a deal for cyber, CYBR.
Watch an S as well on this headline volatility following this PANW and CYBR. Once again, see an S, volume downtick.
CYBR is the cake takeover one they're talking about. Apparently, you can see they like cyber likes it, but P&W doesn't. P&W a big move down here. Cyber a big move up. Typically, I'd look for some sort of a strangle here, but I think these
More color members
options
on
are
that
probably going to
PANW
offer.
Palo Alto Networks nears over a $20 billion deal for CyberArk.
And cyber only has a monthly expiration, so you can't trade it with a straddle or a strangle. PNW has weeklies. It's trying to bounce off the lows right here. Bounce right off. By the way, if that big pull down that we just saw on PNW, see where it went to? Right to the 50-day moving average. Bounced right off of it. Spreads on the options are untradeable. $200 puts, 40 cents bid, $7.80 asked. They don't want you trading. You can't trade these things. Straddle, strangle's no good. So I'm not going to touch them. I suspect that both of these moves are overdone, but I don't really have any way to trade it. See that big move up in here, but I can't trade it. It's only got monthlies, and I can't trade a strangle on monthlies. It'll be ridiculously expensive. The August 15th cyber trades right now are trading at 446. The 450s, which are out of the money, 450s are $20 by $25. Now it's $18 by $28. So again, untradeable. Stocks like this, if you could short gamma, you could do that. You can't do that. So I'm not even gonna look at these things.
Once again, just a quick volatility on this PANW.
That deal at Palo Alto, PNW taking over CyberArk, that would be $20 billion. $20 billion. Alright, so I'm not going to mess around with those two stocks. Do I ever do pair trades? I actually don't, Ram Kumar. I know a lot of people do that. I don't do that. It's meant to hedge your positions, all right? I mean, if something is in conflicting sectors, for example, and one sector's strong, the other one's weak, you can take take a long in one and a short in the other, and it's supposed to offset it. And I know a lot of that's how a lot of traders that work for hedge funds, and that's what they do. They set up pair trades to basically protect themselves. I don't do that. I'm typically mostly a directional trader, except when I do straddles and strangles. So I don't do pair trades. I mean, there's nothing wrong with doing pair trades, and and a lot of people are very good at it. But I think I've got enough strategies that work for me that I don't need to try to, if oil's going up, I'm not gonna go long oil and go short cruise lines. I mean, or go short airlines. You can do that, but I don't do it. Spot strangle is $22, but the ATR is 31. Yeah, it's like Spotify. Again, it's coming down pretty hard here, and there's some negative news on it this morning. Yeah, ATR is around $30. I haven't looked at the straddle strangle on it. I don't like the compression here. It's just not moving enough for me. How's the AstraZeneca for a strangle? Well, again, here's my issue with when I look for straddles and strangles, I don't want to see compression, and I'm seeing a lot of compression now. Straddles and strangles right now for this week have a little bit of an advantage because of the fact that you've got the Fed tomorrow and the jobs report Friday. So there is going to be some potential catalysts in the market which are likely to drive some of these stocks, more than they would normally move. So straddles and strangles, if you can find a decent one, become pretty good. AstraZeneca is the setup on it is pretty nice, for around a $75 call and a $74 put or something. But I'm going to wait till later on this afternoon. This cyber, as I said, most of these moves are going to be overdone. When news like this comes out, the algos go crazy, and they typically always mess up these moves. They're overdone, but because the option prices are so ridiculously spread now, I can't do any straddles or strangles on either one of those. I'm going to grab lunch here. It's about almost 12:30, so about 5 minutes I'm going to grab some lunch. Again, we took a little profit in KMX. SPY just moving sideways here. Very, very flat market at this point. Bearish market today. Bullish market overall. So I'm not looking to take any additional longs overnight tonight. I'm not going into the Fed tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll take a look and see what we can do. There may be something. I may take a straddle or a strangle later on today to hold over the Fed, but I need to find a decent stock to do it with.
commentary out by Bassett says we'll see Trump on China tariff pause tomorrow. It's coming out from Bassett. Once again, we'll see Trump for China tariff pause tomorrow.
All right, let me check for any questions. I'm going to get some lunch. And I'm going to look for a strangle or strangle or two this afternoon to try to hold over the Fed tomorrow. But so far I haven't come across anything that stands out. So I'll be looking at some of those. All right, so let me grab some lunch. Let me go ahead and close down the YouTube feed. Thank you very much for YouTube folks for being here today. I appreciate it. And again, go to rightlinetrading.com and you can get all the information on joining my room and the alert service, as well as buying the software package, the Spy Super System software package, which is really outstanding. It's going to give you a big edge over other retail traders, knowing what the institutions are doing. So take advantage of it if you want. I'm here every day, try to do as much education as I can. So have a great week, have a great evening, a great afternoon. We'll be back here tomorrow, Wednesday, and Fed Day. Remember, the Fed tomorrow at 2 o'clock. Fed tomorrow at 2 o'clock. A fairly major event, as is the jobs report on Friday morning. So we got a couple of big things coming up here to push the market one way or the other. All right, I'll close down the YouTube broadcast, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.